Hi Aries, welcome to Yellow Cardinal Tarot. My name is Carol. This is going to be a reading for mid-December 2024. And before we get started in today's reading, I want to talk to you about my format and how I'll be switching it up a bit in January. So normally I give you one reading at the beginning of the month and one in the middle of the month. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put out single readings. So I might put out an Aquarius reading and then, in a couple of days I'll put on a different reading. There's no particular date that I'm going to put on these videos. There is no timeline for them. You may get 2 readings from me in a month, 3 or 4 readings. It depends on how they cycle. So we're going to try that and see how that works out for you and for me, actually. So for today's reading, I'm going to be using the Tarot Grand Luxe, and I'm going to also use the Tarot Vintage. Now these have been pre-shuffled before I came on, and so I'm going to start off with looking for a pattern that's showing up in your life right now, and patterns need healing. So pattern could be like you're noticing that someone around you is treating you the same over and over again, and you're kind of wondering, why is this happening to me? Why is this, why won't this stop? Or why won't they stop? Or that is a pattern that you need to become aware of, because it's something in you that's coming up for your healing. It's coming up from your shadow, actually. Or maybe, the same type of people are showing up in your life and you're wondering why this is happening, or this emotion keeps coming up and why is this happening? And so if it's a pattern, it needs healing. And so we're going to, let's pick a card for that. What's the pattern for Aries? That one came out quickly. You have the 4 of Cups. Here's the 4 of Cups right here that's coming up. That's the pattern. And now what's going to happen is I'm going to look at the second. So this is your outer world on the top. This is what you're consciously aware of. If I were to sit down with you right now, let's have a chat. This is what you would tell me. This is the pattern that's coming up. And then we need to know, well, okay, what's causing that pattern? What's driving it? Why do you need to look at this? What needs healing? What's coming up from your unconscious? What's coming up from your shadow, from your inner world, that is actually driving this? Because our inner world will is a reflection of what's going, your outer world, is a reflection of what's going on in your inner world, right? So when we see something in our outer world, this pattern, it's like, okay, that's what's stirring inside of you right now. There's something from your childhood, there's something from your adolescence that needs healing, and you've put it away. You've shoved it down. You were told when you were younger that there's something wrong with you, or some emotions you weren't allowed to feel. Sitting in your shadow. And we also find gifts in our shadow that we had, but we put those away as well. So let's ask the tarot right now for what aspect from your shadow is driving this pattern, this 4 of Cups right now for Aries. And we have 2 cards that have come out. Interesting. You have the King of Cups, first of all. And then you have the little Page of Cups coming out right behind it. That's an interesting combination. And then finally, we have what advice from the tarot is going to be given to you in order that you can start to heal this, right? Because this is not going to be a miracle drug that I'm going to give you here. The healing process comes with, a little bit of work at a time, right? And so it's very important that the tarot will guide you somewhere, because there's going to be something that's coming up here. And so what is the advice from the tarot here? Well, again, you have 2 cards. So you have the Empress in reverse, and then you also have the 4 of Wands. All right, so let's get some clarifiers right now. So let's just pre-shuffle before I came on. So let's try the 4 of Cups. A couple cards for the 4 of Cups. Whoa, I know these 2 came out. So I'm going to take the 9 of Cups and the World card in reverse. And I'm going to fix this because there's about 10 cards here that turned over. Not 10, but a lot. Okay. Can I have some clarifiers for the King of Cups and the Page of Cups? Maybe 1 or 2 cards. Oh, you have the Emperor. Ooh. I think that's good enough. I got an idea what's going on here. And then the 3 of Wands and the 4 of, sorry, the Empress and the 4 of Wands. Clarifiers for that. The 3 of Swords in reverse. I think that's good. Okay. Aries, let's begin with your patterns. So you start off with the 4 of Cups. And I think I get this pattern. Been here before, where in an upright position, the 4 of Cups talks about these 3 cups right here that this individual has in front of them. And these are their emotions, you know. These are the ones that they've kind of been collected. They've felt them. They've been, they're done with them. They put them away here. Kind of maybe they're collecting emotions. I don't know. But there's one up here where this individual seems to be like looking at it. Maybe they're dreaming. Maybe they're thinking about, you know, opening up that can of worms again, opening up that Pandora's box. Do I really want to feel? Do I really want to start to get into my stuff? Do I want to get back on this journey and start to feel some of my stuff? And normally this is like what I say is it's another offer from the universe. So you have this individual that's kind of, you know, normally they have their hands are their arms are folded and they've decided, I've had enough of feeling. I'm fed up. I'm done. I don't want to do any more healing. I'm shut down, but the universe is kind of going like, wait a minute here. Wait a minute here. You're not done. Here's another one up here. Are you gonna take this cup? But it's in reverse here, and so you're very much like not wanting to take that cup. It's like I'm maybe you've been in and out of therapy like I was. I'm in therapy right now. I've been in therapy for 7.5 years for my own complex trauma. But before I found this one trauma coach that I have now, and I'll have her forever, I was in and out. I was done. I didn't want to do it anymore. Shut it down for a while. You know, I lived my life and then got back into it. And you go into that, right? In and out of therapy or in and out of help. Or maybe you're thinking about it. Because I see here right now, you're sitting here right now, like, here's your 9 of Cups. These are the emotions, right? They're all lined up here. Now, this individual has his arms crossed. And he's like, no, I'm done. I'm done healing, right? Like, but here's the thing with these cups. This is only number 9. You have 10 cards. The pip cards, there's 10 of them. You haven't got to the number 10 yet, you know, the end of the cycle here. But you've decided, no, I'm done, you know, and you're not willing to pull that blue blanket and figure out, you know, what's underneath there. What more do you have to heal? But it's like, I'm done, you know. But there's some real closure, I think, that's needed on your part. And it's like, no, because this is in reverse. This is the World card. It's like, no, so you're really, I'm going to say shut down right now. And like I said, maybe you've gone in and out, but it's just like the cycle is right now, the pattern is, I'm shut down right now. So where does that shutting down come in? Like, where have you learned to shut down your emotions and not feel? Well, when I looked at your, when I saw this coming out, you have the King of Cups and the Emperor card right here. These are 2 powerful masculine forces, I'm going to say. When you were younger, because your shadow is, like I said, it's when you were younger as a child, as an adolescent, it's what you learned. And right in the middle of these 2 controlling masculine figures, and I'll talk about them individually in a minute, you have this little Page of Cups here. And the Page of Cups is going to rule. The Page of Cups in particular, right? There's 4 pages in the deck. It's our inner child. And we have more than one inner child. because I've discovered that on my own healing journey. And I know mainstream psychology says we just have one. But the Page of Cups is the one that, when it shows up in your reading, is the one that will rule the reading. Like the whole reading will center around this poor little page, this inner child of yours. And so let's look at what's surrounding this little inner child of yours. So you have the King of Cups, and the King of Cups is our masculine side. So court cards really ask us to bring awareness to what they represent. And this is our masculine side. We also have a queen. You don't have a queen in your deck, but you have the Empress, and she's the feminine side. And the masculine side of us is our ego self. And it's the one that really rules our mind. We often think it's our adult self, but it's not. It's the one that really rules our mind. And it wants you to stay up in your head because it doesn't want you to go into your body, because that's where your emotions are. And the ego self is petrified of emotions. And I say that because this is the King of Cups. And so the King of Cups wants absolutely nothing to do with emotions. Like I said, it'll want to keep you right up in your head. Because when you're in your head, when you're dissociated, that's what it does. It dissociates you, right? When you're taken out of your body and you're put up in your head, you dissociate. There's a lot of us that are walking around. Most of us are walking around dissociated, and we don't know it. They don't know it. There are days when I'm dissociated. I live my whole life dissociated because I have complex trauma. But now I get more and more familiar when I'm dissociated and when my ego self is trying to keep me in my head. And so when you were younger, when something traumatic happens to us, when we, have these big emotions that we can't feel, our little page will take them on, and our king will take us out of our body and put us in our head, keep us in our head so that we don't feel. And that's what's happening here, because very interesting that this whole top row is really focused on how you're just, like I said, shut down and not wanting to feel. But you've got this ego self that's blocking your emotions. So something when you were younger happened, because let's look at the Emperor. Well, let's look at the page, because the page is coming next. And the page is in the middle of our ego self and our Emperor. The Page of Cups. So who is this little page, this inner child of ours that is going to rule this reading and is going to rule our life and is going to create the most havoc in our life? It's a part of us that we all have. It's called the love seeker. It's the little part of us that did not get the love that they needed. They didn't get validated. They didn't get supported when they were younger. And most of all, the love, because it's the cup right here, right? And so it will continue in our life to wreak havoc, and it'll continue to try to go after these people, these toxic people in our life, to try to get the love from them. And the thing is, they can't give it to us, and they won't give it to us. And it's the same pattern that we had when we were younger, where you were wanting this love and they wouldn't give it to you, and they couldn't give it to you. And so you continue this pattern as an adult. You repeat it over and over again. You become this chameleon, really. You will change. This particular King of Cups here will tell you to put on these different masks. With all these different people, you will change you just so that you can get that love that you want, that you're so desperate to get. And this little love seeker doesn't care about, I'm thinking of the word and it's not coming to me. Collateral damage. It doesn't care about what sort of damage it causes. It wants love, and it'll stop at nothing to get the love. And so I can see here that that's what's happening with you right now. And I'm going to say your love seeker is out, and that's the part that just is wanting so much love right now. And that's because when that part is out, it's because there's just these big emotions that need to be felt right here. And so that little part will come out when we want to run away from these emotions that we want to feel. So we'll go and run after people that aren't going to give it this love. It's very painful. This part is very painful. And then you have the Emperor card that comes in here. You know, you have these two big solid bookends right here. The Emperor is another masculine figure. The Emperor talks about when it's in the shadow, it's very controlling. It's a controlling figure. It's number 4 of the major arcana. It's like a father-like figure. Maybe your father was very controlling. And it very much controls your emotions. It tells you how to feel, what not to feel. Very much, normally I look at this, if it's not in the shadow, it can be, you know, these societal rules that we've been taught. Maybe you've been taught not to feel. So there was very much love that was held back when you were younger, and maybe that was used to control you. And so there's just so much emotion that needs to come out here. And this is what this emotion is that needs to come out. This is how this little one will heal. It needs to grieve. Our inner children need to grieve. There is a ton of grief that needs to come out here. There's some shame here, fear, but they need to heal through grieving, through feeling our emotions. And that's why you're feeling this real strong, you know, you're needing to bring out these emotions again to heal this particular individual. Especially if what I talked about is pertaining to you in any which way, of going to these people trying to get this love, so desperate to get loved again. And so what advice does the tarot have for you? Where do you start? You know, where do you start to heal this inner child, this love seeker right here? Well, your Empress card comes in and it's clarified by the 4 of Wands. So I'm going to talk about the 4 of Wands first because it's right in the middle here. And the 4 of Wands talks about the wands are purposeful direction here. Going in, wands want to have movement. Wands want movement. They're always in conflict. Wands, the suit of wands, because they want to move towards, you know, your purposeful direction, move towards your authenticity. And these two, this card speaks about, it's often called the marriage card, celebration card. You know, they're walking away from this walled city here. But I look at this card as freedom, you know. The 2 of Wands talks about when you get this little intuition to do something. 3 of Wands talks about when you make a plan to do it. And the 4 talks about when you actually go for it. And so in order to get freedom from this poor little love seeker that is sitting here and wreaking so much havoc in your life, in order to get freedom from that pain, because the worst pain in the world is that ache that we have in us to get that love as an adult that we never got when we were younger. That is the worst pain ever. I know. Believe me, I know. It's an ache that is just, it's horrific. So how do you heal that? How do you start to heal that? Well, here's the first card. And it's the 3. It's an Empress. It's the Empress. And it's the major arcana card. And I said that it was the feminine archetype. So let's look at it in an upright position. In the major arcana, there are 2 cards who represent the feminine side of us, the feminine archetype. And we all have a feminine and a masculine side. It has nothing to do with gender. So we talked about the king, who's the masculine side. And this is the feminine side. And the Empress has, there's 2 cards, like I said. There's the High Priestess and then the Empress. And the High Priestess talks about intuition. That's our inner guidance, our inner knowing. That's a beautiful feminine quality that we all push down and bury, and society buries it as well. And this other quality that the feminine has is what the Empress has and what she represents. She represents everything to do with our creativity and everything to do with our emotions. She's pure emotions. She loves to be in her body. She feels everything. And this card is in reverse here because she's blocked in you. There is a real call here. In order for you to get free, you need to get back in your body. You are very much up in your head right now. This king is blocked. All your emotions is blocking you from feeling. You need to get back in your body so you can get freedom from this pain. This pain of this love seeker that you don't want to look at right now, that you don't want to feel. And instead of feeling this pain of the love seeker, we just continue to repeat that cycle over and over. And we invite people into our space who are toxic and are going to keep on rejecting us and are going to keep on repeating all those patterns of what people did to us when we were younger. And that's how this journey works. And until you get back in your body and you feel, you grieve that pain of not being loved when you were younger. And that's how you start. You start to heal the love seeker. It is a real journey to heal the love seeker. You can do it, but it's a big journey. And that is the journey that you are on. And so, Aries, I want you to have compassion for yourself right now. If your little love seeker's out and you're feeling all this pain, especially around the holidays, this is a very difficult journey, but it's the most important journey, getting back to who you really are. And so thank you for watching my video, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.